What's up guys, my name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and welcome back to the channel. With thousands of games, both new and old, to play on PC, sometimes it's a surprise that people are still playing those timeless classics like Counter-Strike 1.6 or Sven Co-op. But there are so many other classic games and also some brand new games that are fitting for the holiday season right now. Some you may have played before and want to pick up again, and some that you've never heard of. In this video I'll be talking about the top 10 best Christmas games on PC. These games bring brand new Christmas themed levels, new stories and characters, and make for some good holiday fun, and I guarantee that there will be a few that you've never seen before and will enjoy playing. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 10, The Day Santa Saved the World. I'm actually featuring this one on the list as a huge nostalgia trip. I put it in number 10 of course to not be biased, but this is actually a game that I made as a kid for fun in Game Maker. Maybe one day I'll update it. Released by me back in 2012 as a hobby project 8 years ago, basically as a side-scrolling shooter game that puts you in the shoes of Santa himself before Christmas Eve. A demon has possessed all of the elves in Christmas Town before delivering the presents. Your role is to wipe out the elves to cleanse them of the corruption. As the elves turn on Santa, the only choice is to use the wide array of Nerf weapons and bauble nades to take them out. There's a large collection of different weapons inspired by other games, and although it's 2D, there's a pretty good ragdoll physics system in there with good effects and impacts to make the weapons feel more realistic. There's over 5 levels across the snowy province of the North Pole with special rooms and loot in them. Although I never finished this project back in the day, it still has some pretty fun mechanics and levels to play. Number 9, Christmas Nights into Dreams. There's a classic Sega game by Team Sonic called Nights into Dreams. I've actually been playing it a little on Steam after picking it up a few months back in the remastered form. Basically the game is a flying acrobatic game with bosses where you need to collect points in the time trialed levels to complete each stage. Although technically not a game and this is more like a set of levels, this one made it onto this list because it was included on a sampler disc for the main game released during the 1996 holiday season for the Sega Saturn console and later released on the PS2. This is basically a version of the game that's just different to the original and repackaged with different elements to it. This game has lots of bonus content and modes not in the main original game. This version of the game takes place during Christmas time where the city's covered in decorations with people around in the crowd searching to buy gifts for their loved ones. A lot of the different content in the levels are redesigned to have a Christmas theme. It's basically a version of the game but set in Christmas. In November and January the game transforms to Winter Nights where the first level is covered with snow, with scattered Christmas objects around and a brand new fitting soundtrack in the background, as well as a change of weather. The Christmas Nights part is the core of the game, where the main characters wear Santa coloured outfits with a Jingle Bells-esque tune behind it, with a brand new Christmas themed boss battle. And when playing this game on New Year's Day, it'll initiate New Year's Nights where it's just the Winter Nights mode, but with a new title and jingle. Number 8, Holiday Lemmings. Holiday Lemmings is a Christmas-themed version of the highly popular Lemmings franchise from the 90s. However, there was actually multiple Christmas Lemmings games like the ones back in 1993 and 94. The 1993 one had some pretty iconic songs on it, which were actually different depending on if you played it on PC, Mac or the Amiga console. The 1994 version, which was the second Christmas-themed title in this series, was released for the DOS, Mac and Amiga, and it used the original Lemmings engine along with all of the 1993 Christmas Lemmings levels with it too. For anyone who's been living under a rock for a few years, or if you were just born in 2010 or something, then Lemmings is a platforming puzzle game where you have to guide a group of lemmings through a series of obstacles to the level's exit, attempting to save the required number of them without them dying. It can actually be a skillful game and it was a super fun classic to play back in the old days, but most people would just play it to see how many different ways they could kill the lemmings. Number 7, The Grinch. The Grinch, released not only on Windows but also Game Boy, PS1 and Dreamcast, is a platform stealth-based game based upon the Dr. Seuss character and film of the same name released back in 2000. You can jump, smash on the ground and use his smelly breath to let you tackle all of the different levels and their obstacles across this game. You can unlock brand new gadgets throughout it, which you can use to complete the various additional tasks presented to you. The whole purpose of the narrative is that the Grinch wants to take presents from the Who Town using his gadgets. Pulling various pranks and collecting blueprints and presents along the way, you'll attempt to steal Christmas from the Who's down in Whoville. Number 6, Elf Bowling. Another legendary franchise of games back in the older days of the internet are the Elf Bowling games. These games are so legendary, literally everybody played them. I think I actually discovered them at a cousin's house. Basically, these were bowling games where you play a Santa and you try to knock down all of the elves who are arranged in formation in the place of the bowling pins on the bowling alley. Due to overworking, the elves are on strike and the demand for toys has skyrocketed, making Santa take things into his own hands and put them back into shape by using them as bowling pins. The iconic thing about these games is that the elves will always say cheeky and snide little remarks if you miss a shot or if you get a strike, which just makes it a lot more fun to play. Number 5, Santa Rockstar HD. Now just called Santa Rockstar, this was a web game back in the day that's migrated to Steam and basically tasks you with saving Christmas through the power of rock and roll. You'll play as Santa as he goes on tour rocking around the world and delivering presents on his sled with the help of the reindeer who are his band. The game has heavy inspiration from the likes of games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, so if you're ever a fan of those types of music games back in the day, then this one should be pretty fun to play during Christmas. This rhythm game lets you travel across the world, playing different rock and metal versions of classic Christmas carols and songs that you'll be all too familiar with. Number 4, Pandemia Doomed Xmas. This little indie game is based on the original Doom, breathing life back into it with new Christmas themes. This is an old title released way back in 2011, but is still an interesting pick for this list because of the different elements that it blends together. Pandemia Doomed Xmas is a bonus campaign to a different game of the same name, just called Pandemia, but it's released and available as a standalone DLC in game form for the Doomed Xmas content. Santa is hungry and you'll find yourself fighting through waves of demons and monsters in a Christmas town with a series of Modern Warfare 2 weapons. You'll rack up a score and meander through maze-like levels that you just might get lost in. If you've ever played Doom or you like 2D dungeon crawling FPS games, then this might be one that you may have fun playing. Number 3, Season Beatings. This Steam game is a fast-paced one-hit kill FPS game title that's been likened to being a first-person Hotline Miami. Basically, you need to memorize enemy patterns and placements and initiate a well-thought-out process to succeed in its levels, or you can just dive in and spray and pray if that's your style. You're trapped inside a never-ending Christmas party for weeks on end, run by militant holiday fanatics. You'll have to grab whatever weapons you can to fight your way out. There's 21 action-packed levels in this game that increase in difficulty throughout, so you'll be slaying until you run out of ammo and until you get bored of ruining the holiday spirit. Number 2, The Elf Who Killed Christmas. In this game, you play as an elf who plans to avenge his enslaved people, the elves, who have been put to work by Santa. You have to fight through waves of brainwashed elves, snowmen, and Yeti to become the savior of the elves, or you can throw away all those ideals and just eliminate Santa for not giving you what you wish for this Christmas. This game is designed to be a hilarious comedy-style FPS game with high-impact deaths and headshots with multiple different types of enemies, 4 different weapons with their own unique power-ups, some awesome Christmas-themed levels which are the Arctic Mountain, Toy Factory, Christmas Town, and Santa's Palace. You can even create your own level with a developer's scene designer tool. This makes this game a pretty fun one to play, and if you like bright cartoony games, then it may be worth picking up. Number 1, Snowline. Flash is being discontinued soon on most web browsers like Google Chrome, which feels like the end of an era for lovers of classic Flash games over on Miniclip and similar websites. But I couldn't not feature Snowline as it's one of the best classic Flash Christmas games for the browser. Back when games weren't as high quality and PCs were generally worse, or when you were in school and you were bored, games like Snowline would be what you would play. If you've played other games like Line Rider, you may be familiar with the concept of Snowline. You basically just draw a slope for your sled to glide on and test it and try to make the perfect ramp to make your sled reach the finishing line, and as the game progresses onto the levels, the courses get much tougher and the creativity and thinking that you have to do ramps up too. In essence, it's one of the most simple games and game concepts out there, but it's actually pretty fun and it was a really good time killer before. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if you disagree with these top Christmas games in this video for PC and you think I missed your favourite Christmas PC game, then definitely let me know what it is in the comments section below so I can feature it next time, and make sure to tell me your favourite game which I covered in this video and why you liked it. For more top 10 videos like this, subscribe with notifications turned on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.